Hey, I've gotten the most requests lately to do a video on the inside over the top swing, as you might have watched Matthew Fitzpatrick win the US Open with recently. So right after this, let me tell you what I think of this style and who should be doing it and who shouldn't be doing it. Stay tuned. So the inside over-the-top pattern swing on tour is not a new thing. In fact, many of the great golfers in the past used this method. So what is inside over the top? Well, at first you might be thinking it's your typical slicer swing, and that's kind of true, kind of where we might start. Someone who's inside and over the top might jerk the club back too far inside, lift the arms above the plane, and then come back down too steep and outside in. Now, the style that you might have seen on TV or seen in swings of the past, the extremes that I can think of are Ray Floyd, who won a few majors, Nancy Lopez won a few majors. They're both in the Hall of Fame. They were great golfers. They had reliable golf swings, but they simply were not the orthodox by modern standards. So the tour style inside over the top is simply a less drastic version of what you might see with an amateur golfer, and it just means that I might go a little more inside than what's textbook, and halfway back my club might be a little bit under what the textbook says, and when I come back down my club might be a little higher than it was going back. However, they never get above the plane line in the tour style inside over the top swing. So while the two halves of the swing don't necessarily match symmetrically, you could technically call it an over the top swing, I guess, because the downswing does not exactly match the backswing. There is a little bit of a loop, but you're not going to loop from under the plane to above the plane. You're going to loop from under the plane to back to the plane again. Now, I've done this for a long time, not by design or anything. I've just found that my takeaway has been inside a little more than I'd like for a long, long time, but I know that you don't hit the ball with your backswing. So I've simply focused all my energy on my downswing and my impact zone, and that's kind of caused me or forced me into this, a little bit of this inside and over the top look. Now, who shouldn't be doing this? Well, I don't think you should throw everything out about your current swing, and just because one guy wins one major with this kind of similar shaped swing, should you all of a sudden start adopting everything that he's doing? Just because a major champion scratches his ass before he hits every shot doesn't mean that you should go scratch your ass before you hit every shot. Do not blindly copy champions. However, there is a large group of golfers that could and should adopt this style of swing. Those are the ones that are two inside and two above the plane and over the top. I would rather see you adopt this style because it is proven to be a winner rather than one of the top 10 not to be named perennial golf teachers out there who used to have a TV show where he would teach another celebrity golfer to swing like this, and that will never work in my opinion. That will take you years to learn that type of pattern, to completely reverse everything just so you can get the club to go into the slot, to take the club way back here and then reroute it down. I think that'll take you a lifetime to master. So I'd rather simply see you take your over the top move and just simply cut it in half. This is what the approach that I've taken with all my students that have been, hey, Steve, am I taking it too far inside? Well, yeah, technically, but let's not worry about that right now. Let's get impact good. So instead, what we focus on is making sure that the club does not float above the plane line coming down, or at the top of the swing where a lot of people start to go wrong. They lift the arms up so much they actually get above the plane line before they start down. So the best way you can probably teach yourself how to work into this inside over the top pattern when you are already inside and over the top to begin with is either the bucket and stick drill that I've talked about in many videos, or alternatively, you can use bag stick head cover sticking out like this. It's about waist high. It's about 30 inches behind the ball. And all you've got to do here is not hit it on the way down. So the excessively over the top golfer will go back in too far. Start to lift the arms so they don't get stuck back here because they can't take the backswing very far this flat. Start to lift it. The circle completes, and they come down and they would chop down too steep and from the outside, and they wouldn't be able to get to the ball with this exercise. So all you'd have to do in this exercise is to make sure that you just simply don't hit the head cover on the way down, and that will limit your over the top move to just stopping right at the correct plane and not going above what you might call the plane, or the Hogan glass. If you could picture the Hogan glass from the ball line up through the neck, you never want to be above the glass but always below it. And so inside and over the top swings can work, but I would not suggest you try to fix yours to be this way unless you're already inside and excessively over the top. Then, as I've done with many of my students, if you can just get inside and then back to the plane again, which would be underneath this head cover, then I think you can have some really great success. So just keep in mind that a lot of different looking swings are in the Hall of Fame. A lot of different looking and different shaped swings will work for you just fine. And so as long as you can minimize the arm lift and the over the top loop, and you can still go inside. Don't worry about fixing the takeaway. Just minimize the loop, come back down online or a little bit from the inside, and you'll have plenty of success. Hey, thanks so much for watching. I'm Steve, and as usual, I'll either see you in the next video or I hope to see you longer and straighter down the fairway. Everybody take good care.